Hi YouTube, it's Kathy and this is my weekly entertainment wrap-up for May 26th through June 1st. This week I read 2 books, I watched 2 shows, I watched 1 movie, and I listened to 2 books. Happy Pride Month and a happy first few days of the Queer Lit Readathon round 13. Although I did start reading for it yesterday, I didn't manage to finish anything, so I don't have anything for this wrap-up for the Queer Lit Readathon. But yeah, check back next week for that for sure. Also, I was really hoping as soon as June hit, the weather would turn around and it wouldn't be gross anymore, but not the first 2 days of June, that's for sure. The first book that I finished this week is called Factfulness. The subtitle on this one you can read on the screen, but it's something to the effect of 10 reasons that the world is actually doing better than you think it is. This book is all about global data, how we interpret data, and how data is presented to us in such a way where we feel like everything is terrible. And as it rightfully points out, things can be bad and things can be getting better, and those are not mutually exclusive. I thought this book was incredibly interesting and it gave me a lot of hope for the world. And weirdly enough, the bear versus man thought experiment came up at one point during it, so that's just been following me around. Anybody else feel like that? They can't escape that whole conversation? This one was published about 6 years ago, so some of the statistics are a little bit out of date, but that's going to happen with anything like this. I have to put you down for now. The other physical book that I read this week is The No Girlfriend Rule. This is all about Hollis, and she really wants to play Secrets and Sorcery, which is basically Dungeons & Dragons, but it's different for this world, and I really liked that aspect of it. Because her friend group is basically her best friend, who is also her boyfriend, and then all of his friends who have a Friday night campaign, and they've had it for like 4 years. However, their secret keeper has a no girlfriend rule, so nobody's allowed to invite their girlfriends to play the game, and she really wants to get some experience at it so she can make a case as to why she should be allowed to join, regardless of the fact that she happens to be dating one of them. She tries to join a one-shot campaign at the game store and it doesn't really go very well, but just as she's leaving she sees this advertisement for somebody who's looking for people to join a group for a longer campaign, and she decides to throw her name in the ring for that. And it turns out to be this group of girls who are very inclusive and smart and funny, and their secret keeper is a great storyteller. There ends up being a subplot to their campaign where her character and another player's character might be getting closer together, and I wonder if that will be mirrored in real life. This was delightful not only for the queer representation, but our main character is also fat and neurodiverse. She has anxiety, so she takes medication for that. There's a side character who has depression and takes medication for that as well. There's another side character who's trans, there's another one who's a lesbian, there's another one that's pan. And all in all, this was just a really good queer nerdy time, and I very much enjoyed it. As for what I watched this week, we only watched 1 episode of Doctor Who, and it was the second of the 2-parter that we'd started last time, and this one has to do with the Cybermen. Just to give you an idea of where we are in the series for those of you who have watched it before. There's not much really I can say that I haven't said before. Doctor Who continues to be incredibly just weird, and things will just happen to fill narratives, and then you go, okay, sure, yeah, whatever, that happened. It was kind of weird and dorky, and sure, why not? Sure, that's a thing. Go for it. This 2-parter had a lot to do with Rose and the fact that she never really got to meet her dad, except for she sort of did, but she didn't really get to meet her dad. And in this one, even though the TARDIS shouldn't be able to go between parallel worlds, it accidentally did, and then it broke, and they're stuck there and they're trying to fix that whole situation. And this world includes her dad, but does not include another version of Rose. Unless you count her mom's dog, who is also named Rose. The other show I watched is a 3-part documentary series called Dancing with the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult. Try saying that 5 times fast, because I failed the first time I said it. Regardless of the fact that I consume probably too much true crime content during my working day, because I can just have YouTube videos playing when I'm not really doing anything important, I had somehow never heard of this situation. Probably also helped by the fact that I don't have TikTok. But I do spend a decent amount of time watching dance videos on YouTube, so you would think this would have come up at some point, but it just never did for me. Essentially, there's a pastor of a church in Los Angeles who has been doing shady things for many years, and there are people that have been stuck in the shady things for a long time who have gotten out. There's people that are still in it. There's a lot of manipulation, control, accusations of certain types of assault, and financial control that's just wild. And there is a civil lawsuit pending that should go to trial next year. But annoyingly, no criminal charges have been filed, even though people have reported things that should get him charged criminally, and the police have done nothing, at least to the point where this documentary came out. This one was also shot really beautifully, and they were able to reuse different social media content from all of these different people, which I don't understand the licensing about that, but it was a really effective visual. Because obviously a lot of these people have been filming themselves for years, so the ability to have that on screen was just great. As for the one movie I watched, this is definitely something I've seen many times before, and that's To Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. I ended up watching this one because I got a text as I was stepping out of the shower last Sunday being like, hey, just so you know, we're watching Wong Foo. And I was just like, I really hope that you mean To Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, I'll be right up. And of course that's what they were watching, and I was very excited about it. If you've never heard about this before, it's about 3 drag queens who are on a cross-country road trip to go to a pageant, and things happen along the way. Just like any film that's as old as this one, there is some terminology used that is not currently used today, so some of the things didn't age exactly super well, but overall I still find this an incredibly wonderful film, and damn, the 3 actors that were the 3 main drag queens were fine. In case you've really never seen this before and need a reason to, the 3 main actors are Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes, and John Leguizamo. So yeah, if you've never seen it before, get on it, especially during Pride Month. The first audiobook that I listened to this week is An Immense World. This is by Ed Yong, and he also wrote I Contain Multitudes, which is also incredibly delightful and interesting. This one focuses in on the different senses that animals have and how their umwelt, or their personal environment, is very different from ours. He also talks a lot about how different sci-fi novels will like create these completely other different worlds where other people and aliens have these different senses based on their environments, and it's just like, you could do that on Earth though, because there's so many different factors that go into how everything perceives the world around it. I really enjoy Ed Yong's writing. He's not afraid to just throw a pun or a random reference in there and then just keep going at what he's doing, which I really appreciate. And he also reads his own audiobook, which is delightful. The other audiobook I listened to is Everything the Darkness Eats. This one is very, very short, but we get a lot of backstory for these various characters that we're seeing in that time frame, and I'm just like, what wizardry is this? I really enjoy books where we see these different characters and eventually they come together, and this is one of those books. As it starts out, we find out that this person got some ridiculously grotesque power, and then we're just fast forwarded to this small town that definitely has a problem with homophobia. And we have these older people that are disappearing. We have this guy who likes to just take people to his mansion in the middle of nowhere, and something is happening and we don't know what that something is. We have another character whose name is literally Ghost, and he is grieving the loss of his wife and their unborn child. And oh yeah, also has this little demon thing that follows him around. And then we also get the perspective of a cop who is married to his husband, and the whole community isn't so stoked about them being husbands, and when the community kind of fights against them, it's seen as their fault for, you know, existing. This book was really fascinating. I was really into it. I was really wanting to know what was going to happen with all of these different characters. There's definitely trigger warnings, so check the resources for that down below. But then I really don't know how to feel about that ending, because honestly I don't really understand it. It was pretty much a literal Deus Ex Machina, and I don't know how to feel about it. But if you've ever read it, please talk to me about it in the comments below. That's it for this week. If you've read, watched, or listened to any of these, let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't feel like leaving a comment but want to make sure that I know you were here, just leave me an emoji or smiley face if you happen to be on your keyboard. Some people have asked if there's a way to financially support this channel, so I set up a Ko-fi account, which is a digital tipping service. The link for that, as always, is down below. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!